Your offer letter arrived, you read the number, and you said yes, no counteroffer, no conversation, no negotiation at all. You told yourself you were lucky to get it. You told yourself you didn't want to seem greedy or ungrateful. And nobody around you said a word, not your parents, not your school, not the hiring manager who had $12,000 more in the budget. That moment, that quiet yes, may be the most expensive word you've ever spoken, and you didn't even know it. Here's a number that should make you angry. According to a study from Carnegie Mellon, only 7% of women negotiate their first salary. For men, that number is 57%. That's not a small gap, that's a canyon. And it's not because women are less capable, it's because women are taught from childhood to be grateful, to not make waves, to accept what's offered and prove themselves later. Meanwhile, the system rewards the people who ask. Every raise you'll ever get is calculated as a percentage of your current salary. So if you start $5,000 lower, every single raise for the rest of your career is built on that smaller number. Your 3% annual raise? It's 3% of a number that was already too low. Your bonus? Calculated on a base that should have been higher. Even your retirement contributions, your employer match, are tied to a salary you never questioned. One conversation you didn't have echoes for decades. Most people think a $5,000 raise is just $5,000. It's not. It's a completely different financial life. Let's slow this down so you really see it. When you accept a salary of $52,000 instead of negotiating to $57,000, that $5,000 gap doesn't stay at $5,000. It grows. Every year, most companies give a raise between 3% and 5%. That raise is a percentage of your current salary. So the person making $57,000 gets a 3% raise of $1,710. You, at $52,000, get a 3% raise of $1,560. The gap just grew by $150 in year one alone. But here's where it really adds up. Your employer probably offers a retirement match. Let's say they match 4% of your salary. At $57,000, that's $2,280 going into your retirement every year. Free money. At $52,000, your match is only $2,080. That's $200 less going into your future every single year. And that retirement money, it compounds. It earns interest on interest. Over 30 years, that small difference in matching alone could mean $40,000 to $60,000 more in your retirement account. This is not just about your paycheck today. This is about your rent, your savings rate, your retirement, your ability to leave a bad situation. One number sets the trajectory for everything. Now let's run the full math, because this is the number that changes everything. You start at $52,000. You get a 3% raise every year. Over 40 years, a full career, your total lifetime earnings come to approximately $3.92 million. Sounds like a lot, right? Now take the other version of you. Same resume, same interview, same hiring manager. But this version of you said 6 words. I'd like to discuss the salary. She starts at $57,000. Same 3% raises every year for 40 years. Her total lifetime earnings, approximately $4.29 million. That's a difference of $370,000 in raw salary alone. But we're not done. Remember the retirement match. 4% employer match, invested over 40 years at an average 7% return. The version of you who started at $52,000 accumulates roughly $560,000 in retirement. The version who negotiated to $57,000 accumulates roughly $615,000. That's another $55,000. Now add the compounding effect on your own contributions. The tax advantages of a higher salary bracket. The fact that your Social Security benefit is calculated on your top 35 earning years. When you add it all together, A woman who negotiates a $5,000 raise at age 25 earns over $750,000 more across her career than the woman who accepted the first offer. Same job, same hours, same company. The only difference is one conversation that lasted less than 5 minutes. One conversation nobody taught you how to have. Now ask yourself, who benefits when you don't negotiate? The company does. Every company has a salary range for every role. The range might be $50,000 to $65,000. When they offer you $52,000, they're starting at the bottom. They expect a counteroffer. The budget is already there. According to a report from Glassdoor, 68% of employers expect candidates to negotiate. They have room built into the offer. They're waiting for you to ask. But here's the part that really stings. When you don't ask, they don't give you the difference. That money doesn't go to charity, it stays in the budget, or it goes to someone else. Someone who asked. The hiring process is designed to feel like a gift. You're supposed to feel grateful, relieved, lucky, and in that emotional state, the last thing you want to do is push back. That's not an accident. That's a negotiation tactic used on you. Salary transparency laws are slowly changing this. More states now require companies to post pay ranges, but even with a posted range, you still have to advocate for yourself within it. The system has always rewarded the people who speak up, and for too long, women were taught that speaking up was a risk instead of a right. The biggest objection you probably have right now is this. What if they take the offer away? They won't. In over 2 decades of hiring data, there is almost no evidence of companies rescinding offers because a candidate professionally negotiated. Asking doesn't make you difficult. It makes you someone who knows their value. So here's your script. 3 steps. Step 1, research. Before you ever respond to an offer, look up the market rate for your role. Use at least 3 salary comparison sites. Look at your city, your experience level, your industry. Write down the range. You need a number backed by data, not a feeling. Step 2, name your range. Always ask for 10% to 15% above what you actually want. If your target is $60,000, your ask should be $66,000 to $69,000. This gives room to meet in the middle, where your real target lives. Step 3, the sentence. Say this, based on my research and the value I bring to this role, I'm looking for something in the range of $66,000 to $69,000. Is there flexibility in the budget? That's it. Then you stop talking. Silence is the most powerful negotiation tool that exists. You said your number. Now let them respond. Most people panic and fill the silence. Don't. The first person who speaks after the number has been named loses leverage. You don't need to justify. You don't need to apologize. You stated your value. Now hold the space. 2 people, same degree, same job title, same company, same offer letter reading $52,000. Person A feels grateful. She accepts immediately. She tells herself she'll prove her worth and the raises will come. Person B takes 24 hours. She researches the market rate. She sees the range is $52,000 to $63,000. She calls back and says the sentence. She lands at $58,000, just $6,000 more. Now fast forward 5 years. Person A has been getting 3% raises. She's now at $60,300. Person B, also getting 3% raises, is at $67,200. The gap has grown to almost $7,000 per year. After 5 years, Person A has earned $283,000 total. Person B has earned $310,000. That's a $27,000 difference from one phone call. Now jump to 10 years. Person A is at $69,900. Person B is at $77,900. Person A's total earnings over the decade. roughly $598,000. Person B's total, roughly $667,000. The gap is now $69,000. Same company, same hours, same performance reviews. Person B just knew 6 words that person A didn't. I'd like to discuss the salary. That's all it took. You were never taught to negotiate. You were taught to be thankful. You were taught that asking for more was selfish, that keeping quiet was professional, that your work would speak for itself. It doesn't. Your work speaks, but your salary is set by the conversation you're willing to have. This is not your fault. Nobody taught you this. But starting today, you know, and knowing changes everything. The next time an offer lands in your inbox, you won't just say yes. You'll say 6 words first, and those 6 words will echo for the rest of your life.